Hey guys, it's quite fine. Just kidding. So it's finally quiet enough in my house, and I wanted to talk about bird molting. Excuse me because I have my notes down here because it was a lot of information and I didn't want to forget anything. So if you see me looking down, that's exactly what it is. So, bird molting. I have 5 birds in my house. I have a scarlet macaw, a cockatoo, an African gray, a pineapple conure, and a white eyed conure. Now, anybody who has birds, newer bird parents, old bird parents, somebody wanting a bird, however, it's good to know that your birds do molt. Now, when your birds molt, I call them little freaking turds. Honestly, they're little turds. I love them to death, but they're mean, they're bitey. And there's a lot of things that people get confused and think, oh, my bird's just mean, or whatever the case is. I see a lot of birds that actually get put up for rehoming because their bird bit, when a lot of the times it could be a ton of things that are causing them to bite. They're just not realizing that there is something that could cause it to bite. And then it just creates a whole thing. Anywho, so here are my notes, so please bear with me. What is molting? Molting is whenever they lose their feathers and get new feathers. Now, they don't lose all of their feathers in one go, and then, they're not walking around naked. It'd be quite funny if they did actually. And then just all of a sudden one night they have all new feathers. No, they lose them gradually. And honestly, it can happen. It can take anywhere from a few weeks to a few months. And you don't want to be in the few month category. That's when it's miserable for both of you guys. Honestly, if you could try to speed up the molting process, if that's even possible, as fast as possible, then it's going to do you and your bird a lot good. Obviously, healthy wise, there's no way to just speed it up overnight. There's no way to make it to where it never happens. Honestly, it's going to happen. That's what birds do. They molt their feathers. So again, how long does it last? Anywhere from a few weeks to a couple of months. So honestly, get comfy because it's a wild ride. Whether you have 1, you have 5, you have 10. However, still the personality of one bird when they're molting can completely change, especially in my flock. What are the signs? Loose or missing feathers, extra preening, cranky or clingy behavior, and little spiky pin feathers coming in. Now be super careful because there's a lot of videos where people post that they'll actually be breaking that, like the outer sheath of that feather. And that's okay. Yes, absolutely help your bird if they let you help them. However, before they get to those feathers that you can take that white sheath off, they're what we call pin feathers or blood feathers. And they're just literally a capsule full of blood because the feather has not formed yet. Now, if you go and pinch that, for one, they could bleed to death. And two, it's super painful for them. I don't know if anybody has been petting their birds, and it's happened to me, and I'm sure it's happened to everybody, but you pet them and sometimes your finger snags on one of those feathers, or you moved the wrong way to something that hurt, and they're going to turn around and they're going to bite you. My guys do it, and I know that your guys have to do it. If they don't, please tell me what you're doing, because it would save me a lot of bites, honestly, because a lot of the times you don't realize that you're being rough. And not that you're being rough, but you could literally touch it just the wrong way and they're not happy. They get mad, and the first thing that they're going to do is bite you. Now, be mindful that their beak is like our hands. They can't touch you to tell you to stop. They can't take their wing and go, hey, that hurt. They can't speak. So they're going to use what they have first and what's going to be the most protective for them, which is their beak. Most important, molting is hard work. It takes a lot of energy. So your bird might sleep more. They might seem a little lethargic. And when I say that, I'm not meaning that they're not eating or drinking. No, they absolutely still are eating or drinking. They still are the same bird. They just might be a little bit more sleepy. I mean, it takes a lot of work to produce these feathers. And to me, the equivalent of molting is like having growing pains when you're little. That's the only way that I can reference it enough to understand for these guys. And to me, that was miserable. I freaking hated it. So that's what they're going through. So anytime they're cranky, I just try to remember, hey, they're hurting. I'm doing the best I can to help them, yes, but they're hurting right now. So I try to be, just a little more gentler than I already am. I don't know if that's possible, but I definitely do try. So to make sure that you don't overhandle them, don't pluck the pin feathers, which I was talking about earlier, and don't panic if they look scruffy. Honestly, like Navi right now, she's going through it. She looks a little scruffy. I still think she's beautiful. She is a very stunning, beautiful bird. The little pineapple conure Marley, she's going through it right now too. She looks a little funky. They all look a little hot, but that's okay. They're a hot mess, and they love me, and I'm a hot mess, so we're in for it together. So do offer high protein foods like eggs, quinoa, and quality pellets. So please, please, please put your bird on a chop diet and offer them pellets after they've ate their chop in the morning. That will help a lot. You can increase protein in their chop. Pre-made chop, that's what I do. You know, I pre-make it for however long that I need it, for a few weeks, for a few days, whatever the case is. And I already have their protein right there. You can also take an egg. I do this a lot. I will take the egg, not a lot. I do it during molting time because them having too many eggs is not good for them. Anyways, only boiled eggs or cooked eggs, no butter, no seasoning, no nothing like that. But I'll boil a whole egg, and then I'll take it once it's cooled off and I'll chop it up, shell and all, because the shell is good for them. It has calcium in it. And then I'll divide that up between my 5 guys and feed them that. Boost calcium and vitamins. I don't give my birds like the vitamins that you see in the store. That's just not something I do. I know everybody's different. You're going to do your own thing. However, I feel truly if they're getting the right food in the chop, if they're getting the right amount of sunlight and exercise, all of that, they don't need vitamins. Now, if your vet tells you that they do need vitamins, please listen to your vet and do, you know, what you're instructed to do. That's going to be best for their health. Keep humidity around 50 to 60%. I have 3 humidifiers in my house, all in the bird room. I have to make sure, especially with the African gray, that it is high. So Koba, the African gray, and Angel, the cockatoo, I could spray them with water and literally it'll just beat off. So they need a lot of humidity to penetrate and to help them. Increasing bass, you can give them warm baths. My guys typically get showers twice a week. When they're molting, I try every other day. It just seems to make them more comfortable. If they don't want to shower every other day, that's okay. Honestly, it's all up to the bird. So just listen to the cues. Keep their environment calm and stress-free if you can. When birds are molting, their immune system is low. It's a lot lower than what it would be typically. So don't make big moves with your bird. Try not to go out of town if you can. Keep everything as simple and as normal as possible for them. It'll make it a lot easier. You don't want them to get sick because when their immune system's low and if they get stressed out, they're going to get sick. It's going to be a vet bill and something terrible could happen to your bird. Mood swings, totally normal. So this to me, other than night cramps, is bird PMS. Honestly, it's rough. It is really rough, and it can a lot of times happen twice a year. So for probably 3 to 4 months out of the year, you're going to be dealing with molting and your bird's going to be cranky. So that's why you definitely want to make their environment as best as you can. It's going to help all around. So I have a ton of bird feathers, a whole crap ton, and I keep mine. I actually do bone art and I put a lot of my feathers in with them, or I'll hang them. My McCall that passed away, I actually have a frame full of her feathers and I just keep them until I find another reason for them or somebody else wants them or however. I just keep them. So I don't keep the little tiny fluff ball feathers. I definitely just keep, the larger feathers and like wing feathers, tail feathers, things like that. But there's a lot of things that I'm weird about with my guys and that's okay too. Anyways, thanks guys. Bye.